welcome back to the channel. I am Jurdman and this is Jurdman's Beginner's Guide to Weight Loss. Who am I and what am I doing? I'll put the link up in the card above. Long story short, I'm Matt. Last year I lost 82 kilos on the manshake with a complete lifestyle change, and I used to look like that guy right there. So I've decided to do a beginner's guide to help anyone out there looking to start or have started and feeling a little bit lost. There's different tips and tricks every week. This week, should you ditch your scales? What do you reckon? More on that later. Firstly, if you want to get me on any of these socials, you can get me over here. Always happy to answer Insta messages. You can get me on the Manshake Men group. You can get me on Twitter. Come into a Twitch stream. I've started getting a few of the boys in. It's great getting a little community going on Twitch. So if you're into gaming or just want to come and hang out and have a chat, get me on Twitch. I stream a few nights a week. I'll put it up on my socials. Anyway, so this week, the scales and our emotional connection to the scales. Thank you, Cheeky Underdog, for the suggestion for the video. I think it's important. I think a lot of people, when you're on a weight loss journey, a lot of people, you just focus on the scales. And if the numbers on the scales don't agree with how hard you think you've worked, it can be disheartening. It can. I learned pretty early on that it's good to chase the scales, but you're going to have weeks where you don't lose anything, or you lose very little, and you think, Jesus, I worked freaking hard that week, and I've lost little to none. And that can be disheartening, and that can put you on a backward step. The trick is, Gary said a long time ago, and he believes in just ditching the scales completely. So I don't believe in that. I believe that they're there for a reason, and they're good to keep an eye on. And now that I'm maintaining, I weigh in, not as often as I used to. I weigh in every now and then just to make sure that I'm, where I want to be. I think the problem was for me all those years is I never got on a pair of scales. I was afraid of the scales. So you don't need to be afraid of the scales, but they can't be the be-all and end-all of your journey. If you're just relying on that one thing, and that one thing doesn't agree with you on 1 week or 2 weeks in a row, that's going to really put you off. So we need to try and sort of appreciate the scales, but distance ourselves from the scales, so to speak. I suggest that if you do get a set of scales and you do weigh yourself regularly, you keep it routine. You weigh yourself the same day every week. You weigh yourself in the morning before consuming anything, preferably after going to the toilet. And I used to do it naked just to get a nice uniform base. Because your body can change like 3 kilos during a day, depending on what you eat and what you drink. So some people will weigh themselves every day, and even twice a day, 3 times a day. No, that'll play with your head. Don't do that. So if you're going to weigh yourself, do it once a week. Keep the same routine with it, and you'll get a nice uniform base. So what happens if you think you've worked really hard and you've gotten on the scales and you think, oh shit, I've lost nothing? I was pretty lucky because it was only maybe 1 or 2 weeks where I didn't lose as much as I thought I was going to lose, and it was disheartening. I'm not going to lie, it was really disheartening because I thought, what has happened? I haven't changed anything. I haven't done anything different. I haven't, I've worked hard in the gym. I've done this, I've done that. I've done all the right things, and the scales just don't agree with you. Sometimes they don't. Don't get disheartened. Like, I chat to people all the time. They say, oh, did you ever plateau? I've plateaued, this, that, the other. If you feel like you've plateaued, mix it up. Have a cheat meal. Keep your body guessing. Do something different. Like, your body is a weird thing. Like, it's not always going to agree with you when you're doing things and you think, oh man, I put so much effort in this week and the scales have done nothing. As funny as it sounds, the scales aren't everything. Rely on belts, clothes, and how you look and how you feel. And a lot of people ask me too. If I'm going through the same things again that I've already chatted about, I'm sorry. It's been a while. So a lot of people ask me, when do you notice that you're losing weight? And where do you lose it from? For me, I lost it everywhere. As you can see, I've got my big ears are back. They've re-emerged from the side of my cheeks. So I've lost weight pretty much everywhere. But people get worried about, where am I going to lose it from? Like, how am I going to notice? Like, they want to see that tangible notice of losing weight. My number one tip is, and it's going to sound really weird, but do it, is feel yourself. Seriously, if you're in the shower, feel your man boobs, feel your belly, even feel your legs and your butt. Like, seriously. Just feel yourself, because you will feel the difference before you see the difference. You know what your body's like. You will feel it. And it sounds weird, and it sounds a little bit creepy, but it's true. Feel yourself. That's one of the best indicators, because you know what your belly feels like. You felt your belly for years. You know what it feels like, and you'll know when things change. And when I was losing big weight at the start and everything, I could feel your belly changing. Like you'd have a shower and you could feel the difference, and it felt really weird. But that's a good indicator. So rely on all those things. Like you don't need to chasing the numbers will do your head in. It will. So rely on clothes, how they're fitting. Speaking of clothes, hey, look at this. I got the JM merch. Thank you, Matt from Dirt Division. Check him out on Facebook. He's a good friend of mine, and he's done me a JM shirt. Loving it. So Jurdman shirt, and then yeah, so that's awesome. So rely on clothes. Like it's a large. Like I was in 8XLs, and now I'm in a large. And I bought a pair of jeans the other day. I've never owned a pair of jeans because I couldn't never wear a pair of jeans. Like it just didn't work. And I was cold, and I thought, oh, I'll buy a pair of jeans. They were cheap. They were cheap at where was it, Kmart or something. They were like $20, and I thought, okay, we'll give them a run. They're comfy ads. I'll put a photo up there. I've never worn jeans before, so rely on your clothes. Rely on how you're feeling too. Like don't just chase that number. Chasing that number can be really disheartening. Especially if you think, I've worked really hard and I've got nowhere. Could be all sorts of factors. You could have put on some muscle. You could have extra water in your system. Like there's a whole bunch of things. So, weird as it sounds when you're on a weight loss journey, try not to chase them too much. Don't make the scales everything. If you know that you're doing the right thing and you're having the right routine and you're doing a little bit of exercise, you don't need to do a lot. It's for me, mostly it's mental and what you're putting in your face. If you know you're doing all the right things, then you know you're on the right path. So if the scales don't agree with you for a couple of weeks or a month, just keep plugging along, keep plodding along. I say it all the time. You know you're getting healthier by doing what you're doing rather than going back to what you were doing. So if the scales don't agree with you for a couple of weeks, then just ignore them. Don't even weigh yourself in. Just throw them away for a month and just go along. I had a mate who just threw them away. Threw them away for a month. Just didn't want to deal with them, which is fine. Do that. Like, don't get so dreaded of getting on the scales. Like, you throw them away for a month, throw them away for 2 months, and then jump back on. You might surprise yourself. So that's basically it this week. Short little video on the scales and our emotional attachment to them. Don't get bogged down by the scales. Focus on a healthy lifestyle change rather than like a crash diet and chasing numbers. How much can I lose? How quick can I lose it? No. Just try and adapt a healthier lifestyle. Just try and change little bits in your... Have a few less beers than you used to have. Have, less chips on the plate than you used to have. Like, I went out last night and had a grilled chicken burger. Oh, I tell you what, it was pretty good. And it came with chips. And yeah, I said I was only going to eat half. And I think maybe I ate 3/4. But hey, is what it is. So... like before, I'd be having them 3-4 times a week. So, you still got to live your life. And on a final note, thank you everyone that turned out for Man Talk. Me, Tim, that fat guy Ash, and Lloyd had a great time doing that. More to come on that. We're going to try and do it fortnightly direct on Manshake's Facebook Live. So hopefully that'll become a regular thing. Thank you for all the support. We've received really good feedback on that. So. I think it's very beneficial to get 4 brains. Well, there's probably 1.5 brains between us together to chat about different things. We've all got different techniques, all got different outlooks on it, and I think it's very beneficial. So if you're interested in that, I'll post a link above or below somewhere. I put the full episode up on my YouTube, but it's going to be a semi-regular thing. So we're looking forward to that. I think Ash is doing a giveaway at the moment. You can win a manshake water bottle for giving him a fat guy seal of approval logo or something. So check that out on his channel. I'll put the link below for that. And that's it. The scales. Don't let them get in your brain and freak you out and put you off. I know it doesn't take much to be set back on your weight loss journey. I know it doesn't take much to think, oh, it's too hard, but don't rely on the scales for your total being and a total judge of how well you're going. You're going great. You decide to get healthy. That is the friggin' main thing. So ditch the scales for a month. Ditch them for 2 months. Forget about them. That's it. All right. that's it for me. Take it easy. If you've got any comments, put them down below. If you wanted me to discuss anything, very happy to. If you've got any questions that you want Man Talk to tackle, put them down below. I'll get the boys onto it. That's basically it. Have a good weekend. What day is it? Have a good weekend. I'll chat to you next week. I'll see you next week. Pop into Twitch. Come into Jurdville. Have some fun. All right. Take it easy, guys. Be good. Hey.